Hi guys, Tal here. Venafi is known for its ability to manage machine identities across the broadest ecosystem. Examples of machine identities we can manage include network load balancers, Windows and Linux web servers, software developing environments where we integrate directly into CI/CD pipelines. We offer visibility to machine identities that run within public cloud providers, such as Azure, Amazon, and Google. And recently, with our code signing solution, we can also protect the integrity of your applications, PowerShell scripts, and even firmware used in IoT devices. With an access to enterprise digital security assets, such as certificates and SSH keys, Venafi became a part of critical infrastructure, and as such, it requires to offer a strong user access controls to the management interfaces. Today, I'm going to show how Venafi integrates out of the box with Duo Trusted Access solution to enable two-factor authentication. I'll start with the quick demo of the end result, and then I will take you through the configuration steps. This is the Aperture interface, and I'm going to log on as a user on the system. I click on log on, and I get incoming message that I need to approve on my phone. This is what's known two-factor authentication. Once successfully authenticated, I was being given access to the system. Here's a web admin interface. I'm going to log on with username and password, and again, I expect to receive incoming message that I need to approve. I get this message, I click on approve, and my website allows me to log on. To the moving parts. First of all, I wanted to mention a friend of mine, Will Morton from Cisco, who helped me to create this video. We can see on diagram the backend. On the right, there is Active Directory domain controller that synchronizes directory to the cloud whenever a new user being synchronized, and according to the policy he needs to receive a token. Duo Cloud will take care of token provisioning. Once user receives his token, he starts to use two-factor authentication whenever he accesses to VPN, terminal services, or any other application. Venafi in this context going to be another application that will benefit from two-factor authentication offered by the backend services. On Venafi we have the concept of user repository, where everyone who logs to the system needs to authenticate with external resources. We can use a local database or external Active Directory. With this integration, Venafi proxy all user requests through LDAP proxy, and LDAP proxy will validate user credentials against Active Directory, as well as it will initiate multi-factor authentication to the end user. And as soon as two credentials been confirmed, Venafi will get a signal that the user can access the system. So let's go ahead and register ourselves to Duo backend services. I need to verify my email, and now I can create a password for the backend. I'm going to activate my one-time password through barcode. I finish registration. And I log on to backend. We will start with create endpoint application. The type that we need to choose is LDAP proxy. You can see there are some details that we will use in a second, but more important is LDAP proxy documentation. If I click on this link, it will take me to a page where I can download this software that exists for Linux and Windows. So let me go ahead and take this link. I will go back to Venafi machine and I will try to download it. So once you download this file, you will see it in your download folder. It's a setup file. You just click next. We will need to update file in configuration folder of Proxy. Let me set it side by side. Also, on the same page where we downloaded this file, if you scroll it down, there's explanation on every single field. So I have a file that I created ahead of the time. Let me just paste it here. And there's 4 sections. The first section, it's debugging if I want it. The second section, it's where I defined my domain controller and a user that I'm going to use to bind myself to Active Directory. Now I'm going to define this LDAP application against my cloud. So you can see I just copy paste certain fields. When I save on the backend, I save application parameters. Now let's go to user section. And let's create a new DIR-sync communication with the domain controller. Let me check my IP address on domain controller. You can see it's 18.217. And for this demo, I will use a clear LDAP. Usually when you install it, you obviously will take it secure LDAP. I will need to choose my base DN, and I will just copy it from what I have there. And I will click on add directory. If everything is okay, I'm supposed to see Setup Dual Authentication Proxy. Go to step 2. So now I will do a connection that will define how my DIR-sync tunnel will be protected. So you can see I just add additional bunch of parameters. So I finish with my LDAP proxy configuration file, and I'm going to restart Duo LDAP proxy service. Once restarted, I need to refresh the page, and now you can see that my groups already been synchronized with the cloud. I have on my Active Directory, I pre-configure a group that requires two-factor authentication. So let me show you. 2 FA users, and member in this group, it's all users with A. You can see I have 5 of those. So let me select this group. And you can see the 5 users and 1 group were synchronized. I see all those users already on the system. But again, it's something that happened before we even touched Venafi part. Now I'm going to provision a token to a user A1 that later on I will try to use to log on to the system. I will type his phone number. I will click on add phone. Then I will select activate Duo Mobile. Without this option, this particular user will get incoming phone call from the system that he needs to approve. But with this option, activate Duo Mobile, I will be able to enroll my mobile token. User A1 receives a message where he click on the link and being redirected to application so he can activate his Duo token. Let's pause for a second and check what we've done so far. The green area on the screen is infrastructure that already in place in any organization that utilizes Duo two-factor authentication. Now we're going to focus on Venafi and how we can make it participate in this infrastructure. I will go back to Venafi server now, and I will create a new LDAP connector. To do it, I need to log on as master admin. And I will start to go through this wizard. As you remember, LDAP Proxy I installed on a local machine. Same way it could exist already in the system, so we need to point ourselves to that IP address. I'm going to select here a distinguished name for the user that connect to Active Directory. I also would like to exclude this user from requirements to use two-factor authentication. So for this reason, I will add his distinguished name into the LDAP configuration file. I will click on Next. Now you can see I was able to see my Active Directory. However, I have this error message that I was not able to match fields. This is known for scenarios where we have a proxy in between and we have a knowledge base article. At the bottom of this web page, you can download mapping files. So I have them already on the system, and I will extract those and I will place them in Venafi folder. I will go to Program Files, Venafi, Drivers, Identity, and this is where I will paste it. I'll click on OK, go one step back and go Next again. Now you can see I don't have an error, so I'm going to select my LDAP vendor provider. I'll choose Microsoft Active Directory. I will select my container where the search for users or groups will start. Click on Next, provide object name for this credential connector, and I click on Finish. So you can see under Identity Connectors I have two, a local for local database and Duo connector. Now I'm going to restart my services. And this is our test time. I will go to localhost aperture. Let me position my phone. I will try to log on with the user A1. This is the user that we already provisioned a token to. So I provide my username, my Active Directory password, click on Login. A user receives push token. He authenticates to the phone, he approves that this is him, and you can see he can log on to the system. Now let me try the same thing for a user who was not given token yet. The user U1. I will try username and password, and I click on Logon. You can see user is not able to access the system. There's a few ways how you can address it. So I will go on the backend and I will allow access to the users who yet provisioned the token. If I go back and click on Logon, let me refresh the screen. If I click on Logon, I can log on with the user U1 without two-factor authentication. And this is the way how you can control who needs to have a two-factor authentication to access Venafi platform. Thank you for watching. See you on my next video.